So today we are going to do another video on OSHAY. OSHAY puts up some pretty dope videos. As you guys could probably see from our last video, we did the TMR video, and it was a pretty good hit. So let's try to recreate that, right? Um, Before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe. As always, we are on the grind to get 1,000 subs. So right now we're at like about 350, 358, something like that. But without further ado, let's get into this. All right, so let me put my headphones on so I can hear, and let's start.
Today, guys, this episode is about you, your life, and what it means as a young man. Many of you are Black, I would assume. Some of you are not. And of course, in today's world, there's so much pressure on men to have everything right. Most of us as men, we have, let's say, a timeline. By 25, you want to graduate, an MBA program. Or by 27, we want to be a doctor. And by 30, we want to own a big house. And of course, those things cannot happen for you, right? And then when things don't happen for you, you start to look at other people where things are happening for them. And then you have the ability to start doubting yourself as if, you're a less than. Why don't you have it right? What's wrong with me? And then that can start to breed low self-esteem for a lot of men, especially Black men. And it can start to breed not only a lot of a lack of self-esteem, but hatred or envy for others who are doing it right. Now, you might not know how people are getting what they're getting and you don't have it. A lot of times in today's world, most people are faking it. Most people are faking it, brother, okay? A lot of people are on here acting as if they have everything and they don't. And you'd be surprised how many men are jealous of somebody else because you feel like they have something or advantage over you and they're lying about everything.
So, with that being said, we talk about the the social media age and everything like that, and how everybody is apparently making millions of dollars and all these things, and they're successful, but that shouldn't deter you away from doing all the things that you still want to do. Some things come easy to people, and some things don't. On this channel, we try to preach positivity for the most part. Sometimes the way that we say things may be misconstrued. We are not looking at things from a ground level. We're looking at things from five, as men normally think, like 5 steps ahead, 2 steps back, type of mentality. I just made that up, but not like that. But you get what I'm saying, right? So we have these people on social media who are just telling you, like, oh, it's easy, it's easy, it's easy. It's not easy. Nothing in life is easy, especially if you want to work for a better life. Going to college is not easy. It can be easy at points when you're done with your exams and everything like that. But with that being said, also, you need to look at everything for face value, right? So as men, we are challenged throughout our lives to become the best versions of ourselves. And the best version of ourselves is, it shouldn't be dictated based on everybody else's success, right? You have people who network better. You have people who make money comes to them easy. You have people who have many talents that other people don't have. So when I was living in Europe, the big thing that I took away from that is everybody kind of goes into a career field that they will excel at, right? And don't quote me on this, but essentially you have like an aptitude, like standing in society, right? So if you're a good police officer, you're like destined to be a police officer, you'll probably end up going in law enforcement. If you're a garbage man, you'll probably just go into being a garbage man. But the thing about Europe that I learned is everybody who, most of the time, who does the work that they do, they've had ample amounts of training. They don't have any other distractions, and They really pinpoint and focus on what they want to do. So what am I trying to get out right here? Is in the US, we have so many distractions and you have so many ways to be good and be great. You have so many avenues for making money. And right now, the big thing is social media, right? So with social media, it gives this false security that, oh, I can just go out and be a IG influencer and all I have to do is post videos and things like that. That's part of the story, right? As you can see, we've been working on this channel. It doesn't feel like it, but almost 2 years now, we had a falling out with one of our other cast members initially when we started. So some of our old videos are Guy Coco Gen podcast. We started that, and then now we're working towards this. So without me boring you so much, let's get back into it and really get to the meat and potatoes. But just keep that in perspective that you are doing enough. It's just you need to find your direction. You need to find your purpose, and that's what for men a lot of our lives is finding our purpose and finding what really truly makes us happy. Now you're not going to be happy all the time, but for the most part, if you're working towards something that you feel that you are good at and you can improve on, you will eventually succeed in what you want to get to. So
taking pictures next to cars they don't have, acting like they have these things they don't have, and they're just even doing worse off than you. And that's why I want to tell men to always just be on your purpose. And I have proof from our brother Michael B. Jordan. The other day, I believe Michael B. Jordan posted this particular clip or Insta tweet. I don't care who is doing better than me. I am doing better than I was last year. It's me versus me. I want to talk about that because, in the Black community as Black men, we, in the most part, are always judged by what either we have or don't have. Sometimes we're comparing ourselves to guys that are more conventionally attractive than us. We're comparing ourselves to guys that have better looking women than us. We're comparing ourselves to guys that have more cars than us. And obviously, if you feel like women ain't treating you right, women not giving you an opportunity, if women not doing these things for you, it can be disheartening. Okay. And I want to just tell a story about myself because some of you brothers may relate. I know right now you have more men living at home than before. I was 34 rather, right? Still living at home. All right. I was making some money, but I wanted to go to medical school. I was paying rent. I was staying in a room in my mother's house because I wanted to go to medical school. I was ready to sacrifice what I had to go to medical school. People laughed at me. All right. My boy, who now watches my YouTube channel, he was telling me like, hey man, you need to move out your mama's house, bruh. Like nobody respects that, man. What kind of man is that? You stay in there and all the stuff, right? And I had to take it all in. And some of you might not be where you are at 34. You might not be where you want to be at 25. You may have had setbacks in your life, especially if you never had no mentorship, man, because, everybody just ain't gonna get it right. You know what I'm saying?
And we'll take a break right there, right? So that's something that me and my co-hosts have talked about on multiple occasions. Speaking just for Black men in general, right? As Black men, we don't really have mentors. I remember growing up, being in the church. I had a couple men in the church who would teach me like this, and that. I didn't have my father in my life as much as he should have been. At least he came in and out maybe like 3 or 4 times, but he was never there to like really mentor me or anything like that. So that's the thing. Mentors are crucial in a young man's development. And we looked at the whole era of Andrew Tate and Kevin Samuels, and a lot of people didn't like the way that they were saying things, right? So you had Andrew Tate, who is been said to be misogynistic. He hates women, and this, and that. But of course, after he gets banned on social media, then all the interviews of him being positive and saying things in the right light come out. And now people are on the fence whether what he is saying is right or wrong. Yeah, Kevin Samuels, right? Kevin Samuels used to do a podcast, and we're going to look up some of his old videos and see if we can find it. But he used to just mentor men, right? And the thing that really made him popular was when he started interviewing women. And I think the big thing about Kevin Samuels that rubbed people the wrong way is people felt like he was always talking down to women, but we have to look at it like this. Women were calling his podcast to tell him their dirt. And when he pretty much was like, "Well, you're going to be single." Like women took it as, "Oh, you can't say that. You can't do this, you can't do that." And it's like these women are calling his podcast talking about, "I left my husband, but now I see that I want a high value man, and he was a high value man, and I fumbled the bag, essentially." So what is he supposed to say, right? And in this day and society, I will say that women do not hold women accountable as they should, and they allow them to make the same decisions and mistakes that make a lot of them single mothers or forever lonely, or just know they don't feed into something that is positive, right? So you have women on social media who get on social media and talk about, "Oh, man ain't doing this, man ain't doing that." But I look at it like this: if you're a strong, independent woman, right, and you can do everything for yourself, why does it matter if men are doing the right things, right? Because you don't need a man. And if you don't need a man, why does it matter what men are doing? So that's food for thought. Let's get back into the video.
But if you look at your life, I want everybody to close their eyes right now. Think about your life, man. Look at where you have progressed. And if you're a person that's a believer in God, you ain't even got to believe in God, but look at where you have come from. If you're not a believer of God, and if you are a believer of God, which I am, look at where God has brought you. You and your effort. Because God saw fit that you would not be where you were last year, but you are here where you are now. And that is through your own efforts. And we have a saying in the church, man, I'm not where I want to be, but thank God I'm not where I used to be. And as a man, you just got to appreciate those incremental gains. I wanted to be a millionaire by the time I was 40. Hey, it didn't happen, but you know what? Hey, I'm still on the path. I'm still getting better every day. I got my health and I got my strength so far, and I can still go out and still meet people. I can still do things. Hey, man, some of you brothers wish you could travel. You haven't been able to travel. Some of you guys can travel now, and you couldn't travel before. But look at you now. You're doing great things with your life right now. And stop comparing yourself to other people. Everybody didn't come up the same way. And sometimes what other people have is not for you. What if you got something better down the line? But you never gonna have it if you keep worried about what somebody else got. Always worry about what you got. Let me tell you this, right? On this YouTube thing, I've seen so many brothers surpass me. Alpha Male Strategies, Kevin Samuels. Shout out to Steph's Code, Media Tutorials and Reviews. I've seen them pass me, do way more numbers, and me, people tell me, man, do you feel like you're underappreciated? Are you underrated? I think Brother J.R. Wisdom asked me that during our interview. I said, you know what? As much as I feel like I'm a great content creator, my goal is maybe might not be to be the biggest YouTuber. It might not be what I'm trying to do.
So that's another thing. Now that he said that, is as content creators, like there's always going to be somebody who's better than you, right? But the goal is to just put the content out. I look at myself and even my co-host Pop, like we never thought that we would be doing YouTube. I mean, that wasn't even something that crossed our minds. And we talk about it all the time where it's like, man, like back in the day, YouTube wasn't a career. Like people used to just post videos on YouTube and it was like, oh, this is funny, this and that. And YouTube has become amazing as far as like monetizing. They're pushing shorts, even Facebook and everything like that. So now is a good time to get into it. I was watching a video last night about 90% of YouTube channels that people start essentially never make it to monetization. They don't even see 10,000 followers. And I can attest to that we at the beginning of the year we're sitting at about 180 subscribers. Our goal was to surpass our last podcast that we had, and that was sitting at about 154. So you could only imagine the excitement we had when we passed that number. And then at the beginning of the year, we are like, yo, we're gonna go hard on this. Pause. But the thing is like we essentially decided to put more time and effort into our YouTube channel, and we started seeing growth, whether it be bad or good reactions and feedback. We still decided that we were going to do something for ourselves, and we see all these other YouTubers in the same space, and they're doing videos, and their videos are getting 100,000 views, this and that, and then our videos are getting like anywhere from sometimes 8 views. Like the video I posted last has 8 views. I think it was a good video because we are getting back into the swing of things, but everybody doesn't take to it. And that doesn't deter us because we know that, okay, that just means we have to improve ourselves. And I think the biggest thing that we can take from that is, like OSHAY is saying, is anytime you try to improve yourself, it's not necessarily going to be as good as somebody else. Steph's Code, like MTR, like all these guys put in a lot of work, and I could get on any day and time and see, oh, they put out 8 videos. So if I'm only putting out 1 video every week, how can I expect to reach the same numbers as them, right? So if you're doing something now and you feel like you're not getting the views and the appreciation that you're trying to get, somebody appreciates you. I appreciate every view we get. I look at it like this: 8 people showed up to watch me do something, right? That's more than what would have happened if I had not done it. And as I grow and as I develop, as you can see, we're changing our format so that we can grow. And it's a process. Everything is a process. As my boy says, stay the course. And with stay the course, it means regardless of good and bad, if you stay the course and you stay on your purpose, you will eventually reach the goals that you want to reach. Everything happens for a reason, and sometimes the lessons that you learn from staying the course are the lessons that take you into the real direction of your true purpose. So
maybe God got something more in store that I just, haven't figured out. And it could be that, hey, they're just better than me. I'm okay with that too. That's an opportunity for me to improve what I'm trying to do. Maybe it's something that I'm doing wrong. And when you don't have something in comparison to others, you should take a look at the opportunity to look at yourself and say, hey, well, if they can do it, I can do it too. I don't need to be mad or jealous or anything. What am I not doing? What is it that I can do to improve my life? And as young men or older men or whatever, even if somebody's younger is beating you to the punch, don't be mad at them. Look at an opportunity for you to improve, right? And Michael B. Jordan was like most of y'all. Nobody gave him a chance to be anybody. People laughed at him in high school. And what he thought about was what he was trying to do. I'm not worried about what they got. I'm worried about what I'm doing. I got my focus on what I'm doing. I got my focus on what I'm trying to do. Okay? So if you're focused on what you're trying to do, man, hey, it's all to the good. Worry about that. Worry about what your life is, your plan, your goals. And if you work your plan will work for you. Everything starts with a plan. 8 years ago, man, I was dead broke. I had less than $2,000 in my account. But hey, with hard work and dedication and working a plan, look at where I'm at now. I got people that can help me, people who want to help me achieve other great things, people coming into my life, because I wish that upon myself. And a lot of the things that you brothers out there, you guys are looking for and trying to get, you haven't met the people that can open those doors for you, but you got to have a plan. Work your plan. take the accountability every day to do something that, like I said, that push to the next level. And every time, when you're trying to develop yourself, people are not going to notice the gains right away, man. Sometimes we want people to notice what we're doing, and we want people to give us credit for the things that we're doing. It don't always work like that, my brother. People don't always go, come there and give you a slap on the back and tell you, hey man, you're doing great, because people got their own life, right? People want somebody to appreciate them. So when you on your road to what you're doing, just be thankful for all you got. That's why Snoop Dogg had that song, man. Hey, be thankful for all you got. If it's just a little bit, it's all you got. You might not have a car or a big old chain, but stay true to yourself and things will change. That's one of the realest things I ever heard on any rap album. You know what I'm saying? Stay true to yourself and things will change. Don't be a hater. Stop being mad at somebody else. I see so many brothers, man, out here mad at somebody else when it's enough for everybody. More than enough.
Facts.
You can make so much money, man. You can be running from it, man. I mean, literally, I remember talking to Kevin Samuels. Man, Kevin Samuels had so much money opportunities, man. He was running from it. All right. So you ain't got to be out there worried about nobody else and being upset and all that there, right there, brother. You don't have to worry about that, brother. Worry about what you're trying to do, like our brother Michael B. Jordan, and stay true to yourself, and things will change. So, guys, what do you think? It's your boy, OSHAY Duke Jackson. Back at it again.
So, as always, shout out to OSHAY. Any content that we use on here, free use, got to say it. But let me get. So, I needed that today, right? So, as we put out content, it may not always get the views that we want to see and everything like that, but staying on your purpose, staying the course, that is 100% right. And as OSHAY said, sometimes you need a little bit of positive reinforcement. Sometimes you have to find appreciation in yourself. Sometimes you have to put out some content and just be like, I thought that this was good. Show it to one or two people. They say it's good. If nobody else experiences it, then that's just them. Another key point is there's so much money out here that everybody could eat if they really wanted to. The big thing that I see with like social media, because I went from essentially streaming into a podcast, and now I'm working on video editing and everything like that. But the thing I see, the biggest thing is the content creators who are usually the nicest and try to help others and things like that. They don't necessarily see all the gains and everything like that. But I will say there has been a lot of content creators out there who I've seen make content. I'm like, yo, this is dope. How's this not getting more views? But I think that's more so the society that we live in now. As you can see on our videos, it seems like when you're toxic, that's what gets views, right? And if you're not that type of person, then it's a little bit hard for you to stay the course. So you kind of have to just get away from things like that. If you're a good person, then just put out content that you believe in, and people will eventually find you. Now, another thing is a lot of people, not a lot of people, but people tend to get on social media and not want to hear people preaching to them and telling them what they need to do and this and that. Sometimes people just want to get on social media and laugh and joke, and eventually people get tired of seeing the same things. I think like in the red pill community right now, a lot of people have been like, okay, these guys are just recycling, these guys are just recycling, these guys are just recycling, right? But with that being said, it's still something that needs to be talked about. And if everybody just said, you know what, this red pill stuff isn't working, telling men to be better and posting videos is not working, then nobody would see the videos. And the people who are pushing content out that is toxic or not necessarily positive, they're just going to be the ones posting because they don't care. At the end of the day, you shouldn't care what anybody thinks, and you should just post what you love and what you want to do. If it gets views, it gets views. But don't validate yourself based on how many views you get. I was watching another video yesterday where a guy was talking about a big YouTuber. He was like, "Yeah, I was posting videos and they were only getting 39 views, and I didn't feel like what I was doing was good or like worth it." And he kept pushing, kept pushing, kept pushing, even though he wasn't getting the appreciation. And eventually, he blew up and became a big YouTuber. So I've seen it happen multiple times. Another one that I like to follow is the average consumer, and I think that I've actually outgrown the average consumer because I'm not the average consumer anymore. At one point in time, like O'Shea said, I didn't have all the tech. I didn't have a camera. Like I have this camera that I bought a couple months ago. I have not utilized it as much as I should, but with that being said, that's on me. Nobody else is responsible for anything in your life besides you. And at the end of the day, when you watch this channel and you see our videos, you need to realize that you are the reason why your life is the way it is. Now, that's not saying that it is a bad thing. Sometimes you cannot prepare for what life is going to throw at you. And if that's the case, you just have to roll with the punches, right? If you're in a bad situation because somebody left you or you're just got out of a bad relationship, that doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, you are the reason why you got into that relationship. You saw the red flags, yada yada. If you're posting content and it's not getting views, you're not posting the content that people want to see. Point blank period. Maybe the algorithm's messing with you a little bit. Okay, that's only a part of the situation. But at the end of the day, you change the content that you are making to be better for viewers, and you have to realize that the content that you are putting out, while you may like certain things about it, the content that you put it out is for your viewers. And if your viewers like what you're putting out, then they will reciprocate that with views, likes, shares, etc. So without further ado, I'd like to humbly ask you to please like, subscribe, comment below. Let's do something different, right? Tell me an experience that you had in your life that if you had not kept pursuing it, you would not be at a position that you are now, or maybe something that you're glad that you did do or didn't do that put you in a better position or even put you in a worse position. What is something that you did in your life that you knew that you shouldn't have been doing that put you in a worse position? So, without further ado, appreciate y'all for stopping by and look forward to more content coming from us. And stay the course, as they will say. Peace.